Let us see the next question. The spot exchange rate is 73.50/73.80 rupees per dollar. Time period is 3 months. Rate of interest is 25-26%. For rupee currency, for dollar currency 6 and 7%. 3 months forward exchange rate is given. You are required to answer the following questions. Mrs. Tata Motors Ltd, an Indian company, has imported goods from a US company. It is required to make the payment of $3,500 after 3 months. How it can hedge its foreign exchange risk? By adopting forward market hedge and by adopting money market hedge. That is a question. I want you to tell me answer in the chat box for forward market hedge answer. So friends, in case of forward market hedge, it is very simple, that we will enter into the forward contract for sell of rupees and purchase of dollar. Why? Because we are required to make the payment in dollar currency after 3 months. So please write down answer. Forward market hedge. In the breakdown, Reliance company will enter into a forward contract for sell of rupees and purchase of dollar. What is the amount of the consideration? $3,500. That is supposed to be paid after 3 months. And this is the forward exchange rate information is given to us. So this is the amount of the rupees to be paid for purchasing $3,500. What is the forward exchange rate? Let us see. As far as the forward exchange rate is concerned, it is 74.50/74.70. Rupees per dollar. Sell of rupees and purchase of dollar. So more amount of the rupees is required to be sold. Rupees and dollar. So 74.70 rupees for $1. So this amount of rupees for purchasing $3,500. So 3,500 into 74.7 divided by 1. So the final answer is 2,61,450. Rupees 2,61,450. This is the amount which is required to be paid by entering into the forward market hedge. The next is the money market hedge. Or it is given a name as cash market hedge. Yes, I request all of you to make the calculation of the money market hedge or cash market hedge on your own, and say you tell me that say which contract should be entered by the Tata company. I'm sorry, this is the Tata company. Tata Motors Ltd. Okay. I want you to tell me that say whether the Tata Motors should enter into the forward market hedge or money market hedge. So friends, over here, let us understand that say in money market hedge, what kind of transactions will be entered upon. We understand that say basically we are required to make payment of $3,500 after 3 months. That is on 31st of March. Now what would be the rate at which rupees will be converted to dollar is not known. So we are considering that let us do something today so that say we do not have to convert rupees into dollar after 3 months. So today we should do something so that say at the end of the 3 months we will have $3,500. It means that say we are required to make investment into this amount of dollar. Okay. How can I invest? I have rupee currency as my domestic currency and dollar is a foreign currency. No problem. Enter into spot transaction for sell of rupees and purchase of dollar. Whatever the amount of the dollar which is supposed to be invested, that itself will be purchased. Whatever the amount of the dollar which is supposed to be invested, itself will be purchased. And for purchasing this amount of the dollar, you will enter into the transaction for sale of rupees. Now for sale of rupees, I assume that I don't have rupees right now. No problem. So you borrow rupees. Okay. So what I have to do? I have to borrow rupees. I have to sell rupees and purchase dollar. And I will make investment in dollar currency. So that say my maturity amount of the deposit will be $3,500, which is equal to the amount which I have to pay. So there is no foreign exchange risk. Oh, thank God, I am saved. Now whatever the rupee currency which I had borrowed is required to be repaid at the end of the 3 months along with the interest. Whatever the amount that I have to pay along with the interest at the end of the 3 months is supposed to be compared with this 2,61,415. Between these two, we understand that say we are required to say make selection of an alternative which is going to have say lesser amount to be paid. This is what we understand. That is the way we are required to take the decision. And this is the money market hedge transactions. So friends, sequence of solving the question will be like this. Step number 1 will be the step in which we are going to compute that what is the amount of the dollar to be invested today. Step number 2 is the amount, that is step in which we are going to compute what is the amount of the rupees to be converted into dollar for the purpose of making investment in dollar. And step number 3 will be the step in which we are going to make the repayment of the loan at the end of the 3 months. And based on that, say we are going to make the calculation of the answer, that say the amount payable at the end of 3 months. Okay, let us start writing down answer. Step number 1. Calculation of amount of investment to be made in dollar currency today. Full stop. Investment and maturity. Dear students, we can see that if at all we invest in dollar currency, then in that case we'll get the interest at the rate of 6%. So if at all we invest $1 today, the maturity will be 1 plus 1 into 0.06 into 3 divided by 12. 1.015. What is maturity amount of deposit? $2,25,000. Sorry, $3,500. For that, say this is the amount of the dollar that we should invest today. Technical language, present value of the dollar. 3,500 into 1, that does not make a sense, divided by 1.015. So 3448.28. So this is the amount of the dollar which is supposed to be invested today. Step number 2, calculation of amount of rupees to be borrowed today. Now what is the amount of the rupees to be borrowed today? For that, it is like this. Spot a transaction. It is sell of rupees and purchase of dollar. This is the amount of the rupees to be sold for purchasing this amount of dollar. 3448.28 dollar. Spot transaction. For that, so this is the exchange rate, 73.50 and 73.80. This is the spot exchange rate. The transaction is conversion of the rupees into dollar. So higher amount of the rupees is required to be sold for purchasing a dollar. So rupees and dollar, 73.80 rupees is equal to $1. So this is the amount of the rupees to be sold for purchasing 3448.28 US dollar. So 3448.28 into 73.8 divided by 1, 3448.28 into 73.8. So 2,54,483.06. Okay. Now this is the amount of the rupees that we have borrowed for a time period of 3 months. So step number 3, calculation of repayment of loan. So repayment of the loan is very simple, principal plus interest. Principal amount is 254,483.06 plus 254,483.06 into, now what is the rate of interest for borrowing? Rupee currency 25%, and the time period is 3 months. So 254,483.06 plus 3-month interest is 15,905.19. So 2,70,388.25. This is the repayment of the loan that we will have. I'm sorry friends, for borrowing the rate of interest would be higher. I'm sorry, it will be 26%. For the borrowing the rate of interest is higher, that is 26%. So 254,483.06 into 26% into 3 divided by 12. And the amount of interest is 16,541.40. So repayment of the loan will be 2,71,024.46. This is the way we will have the repayment of the loan which is supposed to be compared with first alternative. So now we are required to make both of them comparable. Forward market hedge, money market hedge. 2,71,024.46. And forward market hedge it is 261,440. This is the repayment of loan. So again we are going to select an option which is favorable to us, that is the lower payment is supposed to be selected. So we are going to select the forward market hedge. So friends, in summary we can understand that basically this is the amount of the rupees that say we have borrowed. We have entered into the spot transaction for conversion of the rupees into dollar, and this is the amount of the dollar that we have invested, and with that, so the maturity amount of the deposit that we get is $3,500. This is paid for the import that say we have made. The amount of the rupees that say we have borrowed, 2,54,483.06, is having a repayment of loan, and the repayment of the loan is 271,024.46. That is the way we will have the repayment of the loan at the end of the 3 months. In both the alternatives, absolutely that is foreign exchange risk is nullified. So we understand that, say we are able to have the complete hedging in that case.